Okay. So this story has gone viral over the past couple of days, and I said that at first I started to do a video on this about 2 or 3 days ago, but I said, nah, I'm gonna wait till I get a little bit more information. And so I started digging around on the internet and across the YouTubes and TikTok channels, and I've collected all of the think pieces on it, right? I feel like I've gathered enough information now to where I can make an informed decision within my own mind as to what happened here and what went wrong and who was wrong. For those that don't know, this person that is up on the screen right now, this video that we're about to play, is a young man named William McNeil. And William McNeil was pulled over at a traffic stop, and the entire situation just went left very quickly. And so for those of you who are unfamiliar with this, it's probably not many of you because I'm sure you've seen it all, but you've all seen it by now. It's been across every media platform ever. But we're going to play a little bit of this. This video is coming from the Officer Tatum, who has over 3.59 million subscribers. I watch this dude a lot, and I think he's on point with a lot of his positions he has on different topics. But this one right here is a little bit different. It's a little bit different, but let's watch.
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle.
Why is it that he waited 6 months or so to even talk about this and he posted on social media, never made a formal complaint? Why is it? I know, you know, this is why y'all trust me, because I know what the F I'm talking about. I've done the job long enough. Once you do 100, 200, 300 traffic stops or more, then you get the scenarios that could occur when they occur. But the purpose of this is for me to break down every element of the video. Now, we may start with his video. If we have the old video of his video, we'll start with this video so you can see the contextual perspective of what came out first. So I want to just recap this, and then we're going to get into what the sheriff said, and we're going to get into the body-worn camera footage, and then you will see the big picture of why this all makes sense. But so just so you know, they're starting this video after he has done so much and has been disrespectful and all this other stuff, and he cut the video, and I know why he did it. But this is what he put out on the internet, and this is what all the rest of the ignorance are going off of for all of their information. Roll the clip.
When he pulled me over, he walked up, opened my door because my window don't work, right? Okay. And then I said, so what I did wrong? Yeah. He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, okay. There's multiple people headlights off, first of all. And then there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that law up?
Huh?
Can you pull that law up?
Yeah, when you step out of the car, I will.
Can you call your supervisor? Huh? Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now. Exit the vehicle. Show me your hands.
Here. I'm here. What is your reason, sir? Step out. What is your reason? Step out now. All right. No, don't. Get on the ground.
Stop fighting.
Put your hands on your back.
Put your hands on.
Okay, now we've seen that part, right? And some people are like, he got punched in the face. Technically, he didn't punch him in the face. He mushed him like this in the face.
Yo, I can't with these people. Technically, he didn't punch him in the face. Technically, he mushed him, bro. We know what a mush is, okay? A mush is when you take your hand, the palm of your hand, and you press it against someone's face, and you literally push their face or their head with the palm of your hand. This was an open-handed palm strike that we just saw. And this is part of why. This is the problem with police officers having opinions on other police work, because the old adage that the boys in blue is gonna always ride for the boys in blue is standing up perfectly here. See, I'm a different type of dude. Okay? I don't care how many subscribers you got, bro. I don't care that you got 3.59 million subscribers. I don't care. Wrong is wrong and right is right. I don't care if I like your work. I don't care if I like your some of your other videos, your takes on most things. Like I told y'all, I agree with his takes on most other things. I've seen tons of his videos before. But this one right here, he got it wrong. And as we continue to play this video, you're going to see why. But this is why people say that cops are going to always protect cops no matter what. This dude is a former police officer, and he's making every excuse in the book as to why this dude was justified, why this cop was justified in open hand palming and striking this black boy. And I'm going to tell you right now, let's get this out of the way. The kid was wrong. It's not even a question of whether or not the boy was wrong. First thing you're supposed to do is comply. That's not even in question here. We don't even need to question that. Let's not be dense about the situation. This is not, that's not even what this is about at this point. It's not about him whether or not he should have complied or not. Yes, he should have complied. Yes, when police pull you over, you stop your vehicle. When they ask you for your ID, you go ahead and you produce said ID. Easy. I've been pulled over several times. I've been pulled over. I remember getting pulled over when I was a young boy, and I didn't even have a license yet. I was in Detroit riding around with my friends. And we weren't doing anything. You know, we wasn't getting any crime or nothing. We were just riding around and enjoying the night air. Got pulled over. And the police officer saw that I didn't have nothing attached to my name. I didn't have no record. We wasn't out doing nothing, knocking over people or stealing or nothing like that. And he let me go. So yes, the first thing you're supposed to do is you pull over, you comply, you produce all of the documentation that the officer asks you for. That's not even a question. That's not what we're questioning here. After they cracked the window, the officer proceeded to open hand palm strike him like he was from Street Fighter. And you have Officer Tatum right here defending this. And as we go forward, you're going to actually hear him say that he was justified in his actions. Let's get into it.
And I'll say this right off the top because I know a lot of people want to hear me make a delineation. What the police officer did wrong? No. I don't believe it's wrong. Was it illegal? No. Could he have gone without that palm strike to the face? Yes, he could have, I think, accomplished the same thing. But the officer's there in the heat of the moment, and he made the decision that he thought was necessary to execute an arrest. Sometimes when you do people like that, you get their attention, you let them know this ain't a game, we're not playing around, they begin to cooperate and things begin to go the way you want them to go. An officer has the discretion to use a reasonable amount of force that they think is necessary to gain compliance and get a person detained.
So, Officer Tatum believes that it was a necessary requirement for this officer, once the window had already been busted, once he had already had access to the driver, he believed that he was perfectly justified in open hand palming this dude in the face. And then proceeded, that wasn't it, because there's more to the video. That was just the first thing that happened, because he hit him more than once. That was just the first one that we caught, because that was the clearest view of an open hand strike. But he hit him again, and then after they pulled him out of the vehicle, they slammed him to the ground in such a fashion to where his tooth went through his lip and chipped. And Officer Tatum is going to sit right there in his chair, and he going to justify every single action of it.
The officer believed that was the reasonable thing to do. That's why he did it. But let's go to the body-worn camera footage. Now, we'll go to the sheriff first. Here's what the sheriff had to say about it.
JSO became aware that cell phone camera footage purportedly of this arrest was circulating on social media. At my direction, the agency immediately began both a criminal and administrative review of the officer's actions. These administrative reviews are ongoing, but the State Attorney's Office has determined that none of the involved officers violated criminal law. As you'll see in short order, the body-worn camera footage does not capture Officer Bauer's response to resistance when McNeil was seated in the driver's seat. As I explained, although the State Attorney's Office has deemed it not criminal, the response to resistance is now subject of a pending administrative review to determine if Bauer's conduct violated JSO policy. The law requires that a person comply with the police officer's commands during a traffic stop. This is extremely important. There are not options. If you disagree, take care of it someplace else, but not on the side of the road. No one enjoys being the subject of a traffic stop, and there are times in which citizens dispute circumstances of their stops. But the law is clear. A person must comply with an officer's commands, even if that person disagrees with that officer's reasons for the stop. Within 21 seconds of his civil stop or civil traffic infractions, driving without illuminated headlights during rain or failure to wear a seatbelt, McNeil refused to provide stopping officers with his driver's license and registration. 14 seconds later, he locked his car door and refused to exit the vehicle, despite being told many times that he was under arrest. Moreover, McNeil was warned 7 times that he needed to open the door and exit because he was under arrest for resisting an officer without violence, or police would be forced to break his car window. Soon after McNeil was outside his car, officers found a large, unsheathed serrated knife on the driver's side floorboard.
All right, so that's a little synopsis of what the chief said. He went on before this to talk about the investigatory process, how many traffic stops they've made in this city, how many turned violent, and really the track record of his department and how he's hold officers accountable. And this rarely ever happens.
It doesn't matter if it rarely ever happens, because all you need is one. That's all you need is one. All you need is one case to go the wrong way. And all of a sudden, your wholesome record of how you've handled cases in the past and traffic stops, all of that goes out the window. All you need is one bad case. It doesn't matter. You could have had 369 great cases, great stops where nothing transpired. All you need is one. All you need is one for one time for your stupid officer to cause a situation to where now the taxpayers, which means you and I, the people that go to work every single day, are going to end up having to pay a lawsuit that will be fined to the state of Florida because this fool decided that he didn't like the way he responded to him when he told him to get out the vehicle. But let's continue.
Right? People with common sense don't do this when somebody pull you over because a light is out. Now, you're going to find out here in a minute why he did all this over a simple traffic stop. Let's play the body-worn camera. And this is what you all have been waiting for. And be ready to pause when I need it because I'm going to go through this body-worn camera and explain to you from a police officer's perspective. Now, this is a little ahead of the body-worn camera, so I'm going to get you up to speed. He was pulled over here. The officer gets out of the car. The door is shut when the officer begins to walk up to the vehicle, just like a normal traffic stop. You roll the window down and you converse. But right here, you see the door is ajar. He's going to pop the door open, which raises the suspicion of the law enforcement officer who's making this traffic stop because it's not normal for somebody to open a door like this. Now, there's a reason why he opened the door because he claimed his window didn't work, but the officer did not know this. Roll the clip.
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that?
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. 2 things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight.
3,
I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement.
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No, call your supervisor. Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor. Why did you pull me over?
70, 35. I'm proper driver. I've already told you.
Why did you pull me over?
Step out of the vehicle.
Nah. Bro, what do they make these people? He said, why did you pull me over? The officer said, because you didn't have your headlights on in inclement weather. Now you can see the droplets of rain on his door, the droplets of rain on his windshield and his passenger side window. Why are you arguing with these officers that you didn't have your headlights on in inclement weather and arguing that it's not raining?
Now, I'm gonna pause it here because there's 2 things that I want to point out. The first thing is he's right here. You are never going to win an argument with a police officer. You're just not. You're just not. It doesn't. And even you may even be in the right. You are not going to win an argument right then and there. It's better that you comply. You go ahead and follow the rules, and then you take up your argument. You take it to an actual courtroom after you have filed a complaint. That's how you handle that. You don't sit there in your car, defy orders, and then talk about how you need to call your supervisor down here because I'm not doing nothing that you said do. That's not how you, that's not going to get you nowhere but in jail. I promise you. You're going to be in cuffs in 2.5 seconds. So I agree with him here. This is not the way to handle a situation, even in a disagreement, right? Because you don't want to give them anything. In case you are right, and in case you take this to trial, you do not want to give them any extra reasoning to decide in the officer's favor. So I agree with him here. But here's the second point. I actually went up and looked. For those of you that don't know, there's a dude has a YouTube channel named The Lead Attorney. And the lead attorney is an actual attorney who has been practicing for years. So he's well versed in these topics. He's well versed in cases like this because he knows what the law is going to say. And this is the one thing that he pointed out during his video. What he said was, a lot of the things that Officer Tatum says in this video is not what was actually said from the recording and the police cam footage. And what happens is when you get to these courtrooms and you're sitting there and you're talking about and you're implying things, lawyers don't care nothing about what is implied. They care about the letter of the law and following it to that. So if the law is that you got to have your headlights on in inclement weather, meaning while it's raining, while there's fog out, right? Heavy snowstorm, heavy storm, whatever. If the law says you got to have your headlights on then that's the time you're supposed to have your headlights on. If it is not raining when the traffic stop is made, if there is no inclement weather when the traffic stop is made, you are wrong. The officer is wrong in pulling them over. And it all comes down to verbiage. It all comes down to what words were actually used in the law and what it says. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what the lawyers are going to go by. What is actually said. And what the lead attorney found out was that Officer Tatum was wrong in this. Yes, there's water droplets on his car. Yes, at some point it was raining for the day. But let's be real here. Let's just be 100% authentic. We all know that this kid got pulled over because he ran his tags. He got behind him, he ran them tags, and he saw that Buddy's license wasn't all the way together. He was out here riding dirty. Let's call a spade a spade. We all know that police officers have the technology now to where they can pull up behind you, and as soon as they punch your little license plate into their system, it's either going to come back clear or it's going to come back flagged. That's what this was. That was the reason for this stop. So the whole traffic stop was on some BS from the get-go, but at this point, it doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter. They can make up any reason to pull you over. The traffic stop is the traffic stop, and you got to comply. But let's continue.
Roll the clip.
Step out of the vehicle.
Step out of the vehicle.
25 seconds. For 9-4, the driver just slammed the door and locked it.
Call your supervisor.
Yep.
What's the reason for pulling over?
Unit 2570 unit 1050 at West Palm and Commonwealth.
25 seconds. If anybody responding, come in from Commonwealth, block the vehicle, please.
Stop. So like I told you in the other video, if you guys remember, I had made clear mention that there must have been something that necessitated all these cops to respond. And what is he saying? The guy's locked himself in the car. He's being non-compliant, which is a threat, ladies and gentlemen. Officers have been killed, I don't know how many times, in scenarios just like this. Your officer's presence and worry and concern heightens like this when they pull you over because your lights are not on and you do all this. You are so non-compliant and all of this stuff with a simple traffic stop. What do you have to hide? We're going to find out what he had to hide here in a minute. Roll the clip.
Keep your hands where I can see them, sir. My camera's on too.
Stop. So this is when he actually starts the camera, right? I want y'all to pay attention to this. This is when he actually started the camera. Remember we were saying, I was like, well, when did he start the camera? Because you normally see a person do this and they back off the camera and you know they started it. He edited the camera because the officer said, I'm recording too.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he edited it. He didn't edit out any. None of this information that we just saw right here is pertinent to what actually happens where the cop where they bust the window and that he open hand palms this dude in the face. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter one bit. I don't care where the recording started. The video is the video. We got a little bit more and then we're going to be done with this.
So he's watching him, set his phone up and hit record. And I said, I'm recording too. So this is when he started. Now I want you to pay attention to when he started, then when he was talking to the officer on the other side of the car. And this is the gap that's missing in the video he released to the public because he's disingenuous. Roll the clip.
I've already told you. Okay. Okay. Right now you're under arrest for resisting. You understand? You're under arrest for resisting. The longer you take us on, the worse it's going to be.
Now stop, pause right here. You see the cop step back here. It's a tactical advantage from a police officer. You have a combative person that's irrational, that's doing all this, lock the door, roll up the window. You can't really see in the car as well. And so you step back here because you have a tactical advantage. In case this guy jump out with a gun or do anything like that, he has to look at you this way. He has to try to see you through a rearview mirror and off this way. You're not right here. He has to then turn around and engage with you. And this is why officers do this and step back. This show.
Sir, this is your last warning to open the vehicle and exit before we're going to break the window. Open the door and exit or we are going to break the window. Open the door and exit or we are going to break the window.
Okay, pause it. This is where he started the video. This is where he started his video. It's him looking back and talking to the responding officer. So if you don't get out the car, we're going to break your window. You need to get out of the car, we're going to break your window. You're under arrest 7 times. He said you're under arrest or whatever the case may be. He at least warned him 7 times. He explicitly told him why he was being pulled over. He told him that he's under arrest. He told him to get out of the car. He warned him that he would break the window out. All of these things are in the body-worn camera. And Benjamin Crump and his attorneys came out and said that they did not warn him. I saw an article yesterday. So stupid about the way they wrote it.
Under arrest for resisting. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting.
Hold on, time out. I was wrong. I think this is where he started. He didn't get none of that on the camera too. Open the door, you're under arrest for resisting. He didn't get none of that on his camera. It's when he started. This was municipal police. They had backup in 2 seconds. But now you got officers flying code 3 from all over to begin to break the window. Roll the clip.
I'm about to break the window.
All right, go for it.
Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle!
Show me your hands.
Here.
Investigation 33 at 15:21 hours.
What is your reason, sir? Step out. What is your reason? Step out now. Get on the ground. No, don't fuck it.
Put your hands behind your back! I'm resisting! Hands behind your back!
Yo, I'm not sure where y'all from, but if you think that this dude refusing to get out of the car warranted him getting punched in the face by an officer of the law, because mind you, officers have a job to do. Officers are employees. They're employees of taxpayers, of you and I. We pay their salaries with our tax dollars. Officers, police officers are supposed to work for us, not the other way around. So if you think this officer was justified, and not only they broke the window, which means they had access to him, you didn't need to punch him in the face. You already had access to him. You had your door. You had access to the door. You could have got the door open. They opened the door. They could have pulled him out. No. I'm going to tell you why he hit him. He hit him because he was frustrated that he wasn't doing what he wanted him to do. And this is where we get and we cross over the line. And when we start talking about police officers who have a God complex. And I support police officers. I do. I think the majority of them are underpaid. I think they risk their lives. They go out here every single day and they risk their lives. And for the paycheck that they and the amount that they get, it's not worth it a lot of times. However, we do have to call out the bad ones. It's bad ones everywhere. They slammed this man on the ground, chipped his tooth, punched him in the face repeatedly. And y'all are really sitting up here and agreeing with Officer Tatum, who was a former boy in blue, who's saying that this officer was justified in punching somebody who was just sitting there with his hands in front of him, wasn't making any sudden movements whatsoever. You think that warranted a punch in the face? Yo, I'm not sure what kind of people y'all are on the inside, but there is no amount of violence that required this. And if you are the type of police officer to where you can't control your emotions, you emotional in every aspect of the job, you're emotional every time you pull somebody over or every time somebody doesn't do exactly what it is that you said that they said that you should do. And your first response is to get emotional like a woman. Your first response is to react with aggression. Because the person didn't comply with the power dynamics in the situation. These are the types of people that are dangerous, because these are the types of people that are in roles as officers and they have positions of power and they abuse that power. These are the people that are dangerous that we need to keep an eye on. These are the people that don't need to be on the force as a part of nobody's police authority. Because these are the people that believe that no matter what, you are to do what I say. And if you don't do what I say, I got the right to do whatever I want to do to you. And that's the point of this entire video. And that's the reason why this fool, this officer here, has just cost this city millions of dollars. Because make no mistake about it, now that Ben Crump has gotten involved, for those that don't know, Ben Crump is a black attorney and he only steps in when there's money involved. He ain't stepping in on the off chance, on a 30% chance that they might win. No. This dude is walking away with millions of dollars. I promise you. The city is going to pay thanks to this officer who has now been put on I'm pretty sure he's been put on a paid suspended leave, which is some more money that you and I got to shell out. The taxpayers got to pay for. We got to pay for this dude to sit at home now and do nothing until this case is resolved. That's all right. You ain't got to agree with me. It's cool. It's cool. Drop a comment down below. I'll holler at y'all later.